Locals rally for immigration reform in Silverthorne, and they even brought free pizza. Phil Lindemann, Krystal, 93 News. Javier Pineda wants everyone to know that dreamers like him aren't trying to cheat the immigration system. He simply wants to follow the law and give his young family a chance at the American dream.
These are people who came to the United States at a very young age. Some of them were infants, and we're giving them the opportunity to share their stories and let people around Summit County know how important it is for our country to pass the DREAM Act.
That was Karen McCarthy-Santrick, founder of Elevation Law in Frisco. She's partnering with Summit FERC, Pineda, and 5 other dreamers for an open house today about DACA, the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals law. It gives people who immigrated here as children Social Security numbers and other items they need for jobs and childcare, but it is in danger of disappearing.
We're just letting our representatives know if they don't pass this act, we're not going to be voting for them in the next election.
If DACA and the DREAM Act don't pass, immigrants like Pineda are in danger of being deported. Today's event is open to the public. It begins at 5:30 at the Summit County Library in Silverthorne. There will be, of course, free pizza. Lodging reservations took a dive for the first time in several years this January, and analyst Tom Foley with Intopia says it could be the start of a tricky trend across the industry.
I have thought for quite some time that we are working towards pricing ourselves out of our own marketplace. I continue to believe that that is true, but where that tipping point is not as clear-cut as it might have been.
Foley says summer reservations still look strong.
Summer's been growing leaps and bounds for most of the last 6-7 years, and that's in response to a need to become more year-round and not gather 80% of your revenue in 4 months of the year on a good snow year.
Even though winter is hitting a plateau in the lodging market, Foley believes summer will continue growing. Earlier this year, the federal government told marijuana businesses across the nation that agents would be stepping up enforcement, but owners at Native Roots aren't exactly worried that this is the beginning of the end.
Just making sure that the operation is compliant, that people are supported and benefited and understand the rules and are rewarded for playing by the rules, and those are company policies.
That was Ryan Brown, CEO for Native Roots. The chain is the largest in Colorado with 20 dispensaries, including 2 here in Summit County. Brown says the chain has a team dedicated to monitoring new laws and making sure all locations comply.
This is a little bit of a gray area from a federal perspective. From a state of Colorado perspective, there's no gray to us. But regardless, the most important thing is just playing by the rules.
Marijuana laws vary from state to state, but the drug remains federally illegal. It's a question as old as the Olympic Games. Where do athletes put their shiny new medals when they get home? Here's Mikaela Shiffrin's answer.
I put them in socks. I'm not going to tell you the exact location in case you want to go into my house and steal it.
Shiffrin isn't being disrespectful. She says socks keep gold and silver scratch-free until it's time for display. She admits her Sochi medals aren't hanging in her home, but her World Championship titles are.
I did hang up my World Championships medals in my room, but more because I had dead space on my wall. Then I wanted to fill it up with something, and they look pretty.
Of course, anyone who watched Jimmy Kimmel knows that Red Gerard went straight through security with his medal, and TSA never batted an eye. In Olympics news, the 23rd Winter Games ended last night. Over the weekend, Team USA earned 2 more medals, gold for men's curling and silver for Kyle Mack in snowboard big air. Norway won the medals race with 14 golds and 39 total medals. The U.S. ended in 4th with 9 golds and 23 medals. Next up is the Paralympic Games. Those get started March 9th with opening ceremonies. In sports, the Avalanche play the Canucks tonight. Game time is 7 p.m. The Nuggets play again tomorrow. In local sports, the Summit High Boys Nordic team took first overall for 5K skate at the State Ski Championships at Tennessee Pass this past weekend. The Tigers had 3 skiers finish in the top 5. The boys also took second behind Aspen in the 5K Classic. The girls Nordic team finished 4th in both events. In junior hockey news, the Breckenridge Bolts won the opening game and lost 2 more for their final home series against the Colorado Thunderbirds this past weekend. They finished the regular season this weekend against the Colorado Rampage in Monument. Phil Lindemann, Krystal, 93 News.